some way, be structured in some way, and do baptism and the Lord's Supper in some way. Every church is living out some form of theology, even if that theology is based on pragmatism instead of biblical principles. Why wouldn't we want the life we share in the church to be shaped by the best exegetical, theological, and historical reflections? Why wouldn't we want to be thoughtful instead of thoughtless? Why wouldn't we want all things in the life we live together to be done decently and in good order? That's not the Presbyterian and Reformed way. That's God's way. And Presbyterian and Reformed Christians would do well not to forget it. Kevin DeYoung, Senior Pastor, Christ Covenant Church, Matthews, North Carolina. Introduction. Theology Matters. This book arises out of two simple convictions. The first is that knowing what we believe about God, humanity, worship, and salvation is important. More than important, it is vital. We need clear answers to the biggest questions in life and the most consequential matters of eternity. These answers must be true. Everything depends on it. Knowing these true answers and being able to articulate them is a powerful thing. Not only must we be clear and thoughtful about what we believe, but we ought to be able to present our beliefs with a coherence that displays their inner logic. The pieces should fit together. This kind of clarity and coherence brings stability to our lives, to our families, and to our witness in the world. If you are a new Christian, it is important for you to gain a foothold in the teaching of the whole Bible and to have ready answers for the biggest and most fundamental theological questions. If you have been a Christian for some time, you need to know where you stand and to orient your worship, fellowship, and practice in a way that accords with your convictions. Having a basic theological framework is essential, and this is the first conviction on which this book is based. Theological frameworks matter. The second conviction follows directly from the first. Reformed theology is a blessing. It may sound strange to call a theological system a blessing. If you have preconceived notions about Reformed theology, it may sound especially odd. But strange or not, this book is written with the conviction that it is true. A caricature suggests that theology is only for those who have special training or a vocation to serve as Christian ministers. Sometimes, it seems as if the people who are most interested in debating theological nuances are socially awkward and unable to connect with regular people and their typical questions about life. If this has been your experience or your impression, please understand that this book is still for you. Reformed theology, rightly understood, cuts through a false association between theological thinking and ivory tower speculation. One of the great early Reformed theologians defined theology simply as the doctrine of living to God through Christ. It is a theology for living to God. It is about life. So, if you are looking for answers to the biggest questions about life and eternity, then the Christian faith and the Reformed expression of that faith provides them. Not only are the answers coherent, logical, and clear, they are true. They are all centered on the person and work of the Lord Jesus Christ. They are truths found in Him and discovered through His Word, the Bible. Reformed theology, centered on Jesus Christ and rooted in the Scriptures, seeks to explain the whole Bible by showing God's work of salvation from beginning to end. It gives an honest assessment of humanity and good news about the nature of salvation. More than that, it shows how the Bible instructs us personally, teaching us how we should worship God and serve Him in our everyday lives at home, at work, and in the church. Truth is always a blessing, but these truths give special life and clarity. In order to introduce these things, we must first spend some time on